Hello. What we're going to be looking at today is how to access the College Equipped Readiness Tool, Cert, from the Jackson City webpage. So, of course, just go to jacksonind.net. We've made a link here. There will be one under quick links later, but right now we've got a big Cert thing here. What I'm going to do, though, today is just give you a quick tutorial of what it is and how the assessment will run. For instance, you have your username and your password, which your teacher should give you. You will sign on. So I'm going to take a look at the practice online assessment. Username here will be whatever your username is. And notice here that it says that English is up first. I've got 4 questions and I have 4 minutes. So make sure you read the directions. Take your time. If you finish the section before time has expired, you may review the work. Your answers will automatically be submitted once time has expired. So starting the session, and I'm just going to go through it. The question here gives you again an outline of instructions. Questions will appear one at a time. Select your answer in the grid. Answers will be automatically advanced unless you disable the feature. And once you have submitted your answers, your allotted time expires. Wait for further instructions from your teachers. They'll give you those prompts and cues. I click Start. Of course, it has directions here. Notice that up here, the time is starting. It also gives me how long I'm on this question. Please read the passage. Once you have done reading the directions, you'll notice that on the left hand side there's a passage, and as we scroll through this passage, of course we'll see a number 1, a number 2, a 3, and a 4. And then what you would do is you would read this, you would select your answer, and then it will give you the option. And notice it went ahead. I will say this, it went ahead, but it also allows me to flag questions very similar to the others. It'll show a short answer to what we've already filled, and also we can go back and look at our directions. So again, I'm now looking at number 2. I would read the sentence, try to find the best answer. Again, I'm just choosing one. It advances to number 3. Again, I would read and try to stay in the allotted time. Notice again, it tells me the time on the question. If I need to flag the question, notice how it flagged it here. Notice Advance Auto is here. It doesn't have to go ahead if you don't want it to. We can skip questions. But remember, I just skipped a question. Therefore, I may need to go back again and check that answer. So again, I might want to see my short answer, and I think I would. Notice that the flag is here. I skipped that question. I need to go back and put my answer in. So for instance here, I want to select B again, just like I've done on all of them. I've got all my answers. I'm going to go ahead and submit my answers and submit my answers one more time. And then it comes up to the next practice test. And again, depending on how your assessment's done, your teacher may instruct you to wait until the next thing, or even on the screen. All this is doing is giving you the prompts, an idea of how the exam will be. Again, directions are here. Geometric figures lay in a plane. So the directions here are different than the directions on the 1. Some problems may be done best without using a calculator. So calculators will be part of the use here. Read the question. Again, you're prompted. Select your answer. Notice this one's going on again. I'm just clicking so they can look. Again, if I need to flag, make sure you look at this. Oh wait, I need to reread the directions. The time still continues on you, but you will need to make sure that you're aware of this. Also, again, the question time, even in the math. If I need to flag the question, if I want to skip the question, again, just putting some answers in. Notice there were 4 questions. I probably would want to see the answer sheet. I would always do this, and notice again that number 3 has not been answered. It is in your best interest that you answer all questions. Click on this. It will take us back to number 3. I see I want to place B as my answer again. Once I am for sure that I want to submit my answers, I hit submit, submit my answers, and then it'll go on to the next part, the reading. And you would hit start exam after you have read the instructions. The directions again for this one will differ from the others. Click OK, and I'm just going to go ahead and click through. Again, if I want to turn this off, because that can get kind of annoying, because maybe I want to go back and check to see if it makes sense what I selected, I would probably turn off the advanced, and that way I can just hit next or previous to go back. Again, once all my things, when I get to the last question, it's going to hit submit answers. I would probably want to check the answer sheet to make sure that all my questions are answered. If they are, then I would hit submit, submit my answers, and then of course we do the science and the same thing, read the directions. Before you start, it gives you a passage. I'm just going to go ahead and click G. Again, diagrams are very important in ACT or any of those assessments. So make sure you look at the diagram, make sure you look at the question, make sure it matches up what it's asking you. G, and notice I can switch, like here I had H, I want to just say with all G's. Click submit. Oh, always check before I submit my answer sheet. Hit submit my answers, and then I'm done. And notice I got in English a 2, math I got a 0, reading I got a 0, and science I got a 1. You can go back to click exam room, and then what I can actually do from here is I can actually look and play videos that will help me to better understand why I missed those questions. So for instance, red here, I click play, and then what this will do will bring up a question that goes over this.
Professor James Catterall has spent a significant portion of his career studying education, specifically the role that fine arts, such as music, painting, as well as drawing, can play in the development of a child's learning.
Okay, and he's going to go over this problem, this question for number 1, and he's going to give you hints and comments. Notice it's about 1 minute and 10 seconds. Very good for you to go back and reflect. It also gives us the difficulty level. And again, like here, if I need to go back, I want to check number 3. I can hit play. And again, the video will start here.
Professor James Catterall.
And notice there's number 3, and then it's going to give us the reason why that was selected. Even if I got it right, I might want to go back and help understand. Maybe I just guessed at it. I can go back and see how this relates, because number 1, we need to make sure that we're making progression. Even if we guessed and we got it right, we would truthfully want to make sure we understood it. So it's a good tool to help us build our skills so that when we take the ACT later on, that we're going to be ready for it. And again, notice we have a review, we have the checks and so forth, so this is going to help us. And you can look at the question grid. So, I mean, there's a grid, and then there is the question. So it's really helpful. I'm going to go back to the homeroom again. The homeroom in this thing is looking at the math and so forth. And yours will look a little differently once you get into it, but this will give us a breakdown of your scores. For instance, in math, man, I didn't do good at all. It looks like I'm red. It also gives me how long it was on each question. Again, the difficulty. Pretty much looks like I'm going to have to go back and review. But you can also ask your teacher also for help on these questions because they're going to have access to this. And again, I can go to the question. Okay, there was the right answer. Maybe I just misadded or subtracted. Oh, yes, now I see why. And so that could be an easy thing for me to see why I missed the question. So you should go back, look at the question, watch the video, and then if you have questions still, probably ask your teacher because they're there to help you. Again, keeps up with your data. And the only thing we want to do is help make you better. Okay? And the same thing goes with the others. Once you're complete, go ahead and log out. And that would complete the practice test and log on. Again, when you come to take your test, you're not going to be going into the practice test. You're actually going to be going into the main system, which is here. You would type in your username and your password that your teacher provides you, and then sign in and listen for further instructions from your teacher. They'll help guide you through this assessment. Hopefully you'll find this very useful and helpful. I know that I can see great benefits and a way to improve your skills so that you get the ACT score that you really want